Cuckoo, cuckoo everybody, Coach Rab here, and today I'm going to give you another nutritional lesson, and this one's going to be based on why it's emotionally and chemically harder to fast when you're overweight. So we're going to break that down for you and geek out into the science. Okay, we're going to break it down. So you've got your two main sort of appetite-based hormones for your hunger and full up, and that's leptin and ghrelin. Now, ghrelin is your hunger hormone, if you like. It's the one, you always think hunger strikes, grr, okay? And that's produced in the stomach, and it basically sends off signals to say, feed me. And that's the one when you start getting close to dinner time, that will become abundant in your system and it will convince you you're more hungry than you are. Its opposite hormone is called leptin. Okay, so leptin is produced in the fat cells, and when that's stimulated, it will then release and basically tell the body you're full up. Okay, so leptin and ghrelin, they work in together with one another. You consume a meal, a lot of calories come in, and leptin is released, and it's like, right, okay, we're full up, no more now, and then you stop. Okay. So you would think then, because leptin is produced in the fat cells, the more fat cells you have, the more leptin you have. Now that part is true. So you would be forgiven for thinking that, okay, so the more fat cells I have, the more full up I'd be all the time. And it's simply not the case. And the reason for that is the more fat cells you have, the more leptin is released into the system. Now there's only so many receptor sites. So for every sort of neurotransmitter in the body, you've got the receptor, and the receptor site. So when leptin's flowing around, normally it would bind with the receptor site and it would do its job to tell your body you're full up. Okay, stop eating. But when there's too many leptin receptors flying around, they're all trying to compete with the same site. Eventually the receptor site just shuts down. It just says, no, we're not doing this. Now, some of the ways I usually describe this, or an analogy I use, is imagine a post office scenario, right? And there's 10 booths. And the booths themselves are the receptor sites, and walking in is leptin. Okay, so 10 people with leptin packages walk in. They walk in, they walk up to the 10 booths, they all get served, packaged up, away they go, everybody's happy, everybody's job's done. 20 leptin parcels come in, so there's 2 lines of 10, right? They walk in, a little bit longer before getting served, and ultimately packaged and get sent away. Now, if 100 leptin parcels stepped into that area at once, and they were all competing to try and get to that same booth, the booth just shuts down. The person in the booth says, I'm not serving all these people, to hell with that, I don't get paid enough, and they shut down. And you end up with too much free-flowing leptin, and then you end up with, which is coined leptin resistance. Now the issue with that is you then don't have a proper full-up feedback loop, okay? Which means if you've maybe experienced in the past, you've maybe eaten a meal and within an hour or so you could eat again. Now certain foods that have trans fats in it also negatively impact this, basically your junk foods. They have, or processed foods, highly processed foods, ultra processed foods, there you go, UPFs. They also have a negative impact on that. So you'll know yourself if you've ever been eating junk food or just eating high calories, or if you're overweight in general, you can eat, an hour later you'll eat again, an hour later, and so on and so forth. And it's because it's very likely you are leptin resistant. And that's why when it comes to fasting, so again, right back full circle, when you come to a fast, somebody that's much leaner, they'll say, I can fast, no problem. It's like, yes, because you've got less fat cells to begin with. So the chances are they've got a correct working system with their leptin and ghrelin. Therefore, they do feel full up after the last meal, and therefore the fast is that little bit easier. And this goes for you too. Maybe you went through periods of your life where you're thinking, oh, it used to be easier to fast and it's not now, but you carry more fat cells now. So chemically, you'll have more leptin in the system, you'll likely be leptin resistant, and it is harder to fast when you've got more fat cells. Sometimes people just put this down to, as you start to lose weight, you then get into the habit fasting. And yes, you get used to it and habits form. However, a lot of it is the fact that you've reduced your body fat and therefore you're less leptin resistant, and it all works nicely. Now, I do have a solution for you. There is another hormone that will act as a full-up hormone. It's called cholecystokinin, CCK even, okay, cholecystokinin, CCK. Now, it is stimulated when you consume fats and protein, okay, and that will help you feel full up. So what I always recommend is when you're consuming a meal, try and consume some fiber stuff first, some of the vegetables, and then as quickly as you can, get stuck into the fats or the protein, because this will release CCK, which will help you feel full up. If you then choose a diet plan that has more high like higher in fats and proteins, you'll be able to maximize CCK when it's likely you're leptin resistant. So CCK for the win. So hopefully this video has explained to you why it's chemically and therefore emotionally harder to fast whilst you are overweight. Which means if you are overweight and likely leptin resistant, then every time you successfully get a fast in the bag, that should be celebrated, whichever level of fast. Remember, with intermittent fasting, there's lots of different ones. There's 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours. You choose which level works best for you and how often you do it. But if you successfully get one in the bag when you are likely leptin resistant, that's a huge win for your willpower, for your motivation and your drive, and you should really celebrate every single win. And those wins will become easier for everything I've explained in this video. So I hope this made sense to you. Can you do the usual like, comment and subscribe? If you haven't already subscribed, ring the notification bell for this YouTube channel. I'll be keep bringing you 50/50 videos, exploring Scotland, and then also some health and wellness. Take a breath, it's summer, summer.